With the constant innovation in AI right now, I'm always looking for new ways to try out the latest models, especially APIs, so I can just plug them into my existing applications and see how they work. But if I'm just playing around, I don't want to bring out the credit card again to buy yet more API credits. I found a way to access some of the top models' APIs, including GPT-4o, for free. In this video, I'll show you how to get the API key and get it working. If you go to GitHub Marketplace, it actually has a section for models here. I'll leave a link to this in the description of the video. So just get logged into your GitHub account. It can just be a free account. You don't need to put your credit card or anything. You can access all these models for free. They do have the new O1 models as well, but for those ones, you actually have to get on a waiting list to access them. So your mileage may vary on those ones. But they do have GPT-4o, GPT-4o mini. Also have the latest Llama, Llama 3.2, and Mistral as well. So let's try out GPT-4o. So the first thing you want to do is get an API key. So you can just click the link here and then say get developer key. And then here you can say create new token. And I'd recommend just use the classic here. It's actually easier to create the new token. And then just give it a name and expiration if you want to. But then where it says select scopes here, actually don't select anything here. Just leave it totally blank and say generate token. Because this token is really just to identify what GitHub account you're using. It's not really giving it permissions to anything. And then from there, it just gives you the tokens. You can just copy it. Okay, so now we have the API key. We just have to add it to our application now. And the easiest way to figure out how this all works is if you just go to the playground here under the model you're using, it just opens up a chat interface, but then you can just click on code here. And now it gives us the actual code it's using to connect to the API. And the nice thing about this is you'll notice it actually just uses the OpenAI packages. So basically it works exactly the same as if you went to OpenAI directly and used their developer console, except this way it doesn't cost you anything. So some of the differences is actually the base URL is different. So that's actually hosted on Azure from Microsoft. So the base URL points to that. And then they call the token, that's one we just got, they call it the GitHub token. But you can really name this whatever you want in your environment variable. So this is how you use it in JavaScript. You could also select other languages. They have Python, C#, etc. So now I'm going to take an application I built in one of my last videos. It uses Grok and Llama 3.2 for its API. And I'm going to swap it out with this. So if we look at that existing application where I'm using Grok, the way I connect to it is using this create OpenAI here, which is actually part of this AI SDK from Vercel. And if you actually wanted to use Llama in your application, I would stick with this method here. And now I switched it over, and for my token, I just pasted in that token we got earlier. Better practice is to use an environment variable. And then we just change the endpoint to be that new one from Azure. And then just set the model number to GPT-4o. And that's really all the changes I had to make here, because everything else works exactly the same as before. Because using the same OpenAI packages, which makes it nice because you really just swap it out. Like, for example, if you built something just using the OpenAI packages directly, you could really just change your token and to this GitHub one, and you can start using it for free. Okay, let's run that and see how it works. I'm asking about a solar panel. Now it's going to go out to GPT-4o and come back with the answer for us. And everything else about my application remained the same. It still has the custom instructions about how it responds to this. Because it's supposed to be more like a customer support and sales chatbot. All that stuff still worked. Basically, I swapped out the model for this free one from GitHub. So make sure you check out the models on GitHub Marketplace. It's a really good resource. They do have fairly low limits. For example, that GPT-4o when I use this there, it has 50 requests a day limit. But still not bad if you're prototyping, and you can't beat the price. But if you want to use the latest Llama model, I still stick with Grok because it's much faster and has much higher limits, like very high limits in terms of how much you can use for free. I did a couple of videos on that recently, so I'll link to those at the end. I hope you enjoyed this quick video, and make sure you subscribe because I have lots more AI content coming up. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I'll talk to you in the next one.